We have the clap matched up. Okay, so we are on our last family for episode 4 of the Adrian Antelope podcast. Addison Martin signed with Carroll College for track. So my first question for you guys, what did you guys think when you heard she was signing for college? What was your first thought?
We're very proud of her. It's a huge thing. It's one thing to go to school, just go to school, but it's a whole nother thing to try to compete athletically and go to school. So we were very proud.
Awesome. Jen?
I was a little bit just relieved that we had a decision, and then also pretty excited to go skiing in Montana.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. I didn't even think about that unintended side consequence or gift.
Side benefit.
Yeah, I think it's a benefit. Addie, what was your first thought when they're like, hey, we want you?
I was pretty excited. I kind of knew I wanted to go to Carroll for a while. I was actually pretty dead set on it like my junior year. I was like,
really?
I want to go to Carroll after visiting with my brothers and stuff. And then the senior year came around and I was like looking at other places too. And I kind of like was like, oh, I don't know anymore. And then when I finally figured it out and finally decided that's where I wanted to go, I was really relieved.
Why Carroll?
Just their schooling program for what I want to go into, the pediatric PA field. It's just better for me. I think it'll be a good route for me to take. And I just like the school up there. I like the place. And I think it'll be really exciting.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Was there any reasons? Did you guys help influence Carroll? It's kind of far away, so you can't use the, oh, it's close.
No, we tried to stay out of it. Like, we tried to just make sure that Addie had thought through all of the pros and cons and looked at all of her different options that she had on the table. She had several, and so just making sure she was choosing things for the right reasons, but wanting it to be totally her choice.
What about you?
No, yeah, it was 100% ad. I would have liked to see her be closer, just so we could see her more. But yeah, the medical school part of it was huge.
Yeah, every parent wants their kid to stay close, but every kid wants to get a little ways away. At least, as far as I know, I'm yet to meet any of those ones that just want to stay. How big in your life has it been coming to Adrian? Because there are tons of schools in the Treasure Valley. You could have went anywhere. Why Adrian?
Adrian is awesome. Like, you look around at the community, you look around at the support that every kid in the high school and elementary gets, and I don't think you can find that really anywhere else or even close to it, really. You look around at these other schools and it's just like, wow, like Adrian is just on another level. And I think that has impacted me my entire life. I think that's impacted where I'm going to go to school. It's impacted like who I am as a person, and I'm very grateful for the Adrian community and the school.
Why Adrian?
Oh, there was never any choice about
It was Adrian from the beginning.
We live here. We breathe and bleed the green and the yellow, I guess, and the white and black and whatever other color they put with it.
Have you guys both always been in Adrian?
No, I haven't, but it was not optional.
It was not. You pretty much said we're going to live in Adrian, or this isn't going to work.
This is kind of
Yeah,
Places
that's
come
where
up
we
for
were.
Sale. It's not in the Adrian text district.
Oh, that's kind of funny. That is awesome. You guys have had a big influence in Adrian throughout the years. What community members have influenced you guys, though, specifically? Who would you like to thank?
Oh, specifically, there's so many.
Or broadly, either or.
We got to go back. I think, from a parent perspective, the culture really got going probably with Gene Mills, maybe a little before, but, it seems the last 20 years, the culture has just been, the community is so supportive of this school. I always equate it to, it's what we have around here. It's our entertainment. It's everything,
School is
And-
Is the town.
School is the town, for sure.
School is the town. And yeah, I think it's the whole community. It really is. These kids have so much support, and they're held to a higher standard because the community sees them. The community sees them drive to school every morning. The community sees them in the store. It's the kids know it, and the community knows it. The community really, really feels responsible for every kid down here. So it's super nice.
Yeah. Well, it's cool when you look up and there's people who don't even have kids in the school anymore that still come to the basketball games, the football games, the track meets that we have at home. And you're like, I didn't get to come to the track meet, sadly. But, I heard that there was quite a few people here, actually, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good turnout.
And I don't know if track meets get a good turnout or not, but I would guess probably not.
No,
Well,
it's a little different.
I will say, though, we were in Eugene, Addie's freshman year, and they had, they have the small schools meet and the big schools meet. So by the finals day, there's, a lot of all the schools there. And Adrian had one of the biggest sections in the entire stadium, and we're, 6 or 7 hours from home.
And one of the smallest
150
schools.
Town,
Yeah.
150 person town, and a huge cheering section for all of the kids. So we always show up, and people always talk about that and notice it. And I don't know. I would say, back to the community, I know I didn't think I was going to be one of those parents, but when I had to take her oldest brother to school, kindergarten, I was like, I'm really not sure about dropping him off down here. I don't really know all the teachers. And within a week, it was just they're part of everybody's family in the school, and it makes it's obvious, and the kids feel it, parents know it, and it makes a huge difference. And I know before Ryan and I were married, I was working, and I had to come into several schools around the valley. And whenever I would walk into Adrian, and I didn't know those kids, I always had a kid greet me at the door.
Oh, really?
I usually had, they would talk to you and look you in the eye and shake your hand. And at least at that time, that wasn't something I saw in a lot of different schools. And I feel like it's still like that. And I'm proud to have kids in the school, and I'm proud to know the rest of the kids in the school. I think you guys do all of us proud.
Yeah, thank you. Oh gosh, Adrian, who do you want to thank?
That's really hard. I think there's so many people who have impacted my life on different sides of it. Obviously, my parents and the rest of my family, they've pushed me to be who I am and to excel and reach a higher standard. And I think the entire community as a general, just because always the support, and there's always a helping hand that everyone is always reaching out for every kid, and that's a huge thing. And I think other people from around here notice it too, other schools and stuff. It's you talk about Adrian, and they're like, oh my gosh, you guys have a huge community, huge community, you guys show up, and it's no, actually we don't. It's just the entire community shows up.
Just everybody.
It's just everybody, which makes us look big when we're not. And I think that's a big part of what I want to thank. It's for all the support and everything.
Yeah, I think it's funny where I've noticed. I think we're one of the only schools that draws crowds outside of our school.
Yes. Yeah.
That's something that not even always is it oh, grandma and grandpa live in the other side of Oregon or something, and they came for the game. It's no, who are these guys? Oh, they're family friends, but they wanted to come and watch.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
oh,
it's a big
they're
deal.
here to support Adrian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's a super cool thing. What is her most embarrassing moment or funny moment? Don't totally ruin her pride. We'll give
Can I
each.
tell the run away from Addie story?
That one's not very embarrassing. I take pride in that, actually.
Oh.
Getting to chase my brothers with a bat.
Get into what?
I was going to say that I think it's funny that Addie's, we always equate Addie's speed with the fact that her and her brother's favorite game when they were little was called Run Away from Addie. And she was probably 2 or 3, and she'd have a bat in her hand and go flying through the house, and the boys would run in front of her screaming. And Addie, put that down, stop that. And Jace turned around and said, "No, Mom, this is our favorite game."
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Ryan?
I can't think of a really embarrassing. I mean, there's the daily stuff.
The little things.
It's like, come on, Ad. But for the most part, she's been great.
I feel like you're holding back something.
No, I'm kind of
Should have let
stumped.
Reese come in.
Yeah.
She-
A
would've
super
had
embarrassing.
Oh, that's what we'll do. We'll do a sibling one next. The
That'd
younger
be
sibling.
terrible. Reese wouldn't stop talking.
That would be hilarious.
That would-
I could see Reese totally digging that 100%. Oh, I get to talk about her?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, then for you, funniest or most embarrassing moment. It can be about you if you're willing to share, or it can be about somebody else. Across the years.
I mean, I don't know. I can't
Rance
really
always
think.
does the Joshua, either the Josh story or Josh from this year when he told us his dad died.
Oh, yeah.
And then the week later he goes, "Oh, I was just joking about that."
Yeah, that was terrible.
That one's pretty funny.
That one's funny. I don't know. I really can't think of one.
Yeah,
Like,
oh, that's okay.
really embarrassing. There's been a lot of.
There's been a
embarrassing
lot of
moments.
times she doesn't take her stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So
You just leave your stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, how
No,
about the
I'm
time
talking
that-
about jerseys and everything else, and
How
somebody's
about the
got
time that
to.
you showed up with Jace's jersey and then he didn't have his?
Yeah. Okay, so it was my sophomore year.
I don't know, but it,
It
was
had
at a
to be-
big tournament.
It had to be, yeah, it was either my freshman or my sophomore year. So mom hangs our jersey up on the porch, like all together, kind of. And I was in a hurry, and we were going to the district tournament, and the boys were high enough seed that they didn't come until the next day, or like they didn't have to play till the next day. And so I was in a hurry, and I just grabbed a jersey off the porch, and it had like a 1 on it, so I was like, oh, it's 11. And I get to the tournament. I didn't check it. I get to the tournament. We're getting ready in the locker room, and I put it on, and I'm like, what the heck? I like look down, and I'm like, what? And I still didn't even notice. I was like, guys, like, why is my jersey so huge? I was like, did somebody take my jersey? And I'm pretty sure it was Celie. Celie looked at me. She was like, what are you wearing? And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, that's not our jersey. She's like, you have your brother's jersey on. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it was so huge. Like, there was no way that I could really wear it. Like, it would fall down. And so then I had to switch jerseys with Kayanne. And I was like, can you wear this? And then I'll wear yours. And it was like this whole thing. And I had to tell Mr. Hansen. And I had to walk up there and I was like, hey,
Oh, and
so
I
like-
bet he's thrilled.
Yeah, I was like, it was like 20 minutes before the game starts.
Oh, yeah,
A
so he's
district game.
super happy about
Yeah.
it.
And I'm like, hey, like, can you switch our jerseys around and stuff? Because I left mine. And he's like, what do you mean you left your jersey? I told you guys to check it. And I was like, well, technically I brought a jersey.
Didn't
I
you
just,
forget your track
brought
shoes for state track
the
last
thing.
year too, or was that
No.
a different one?
no, that was a different one.
Yeah, we've had borrowed shoes, all sorts of things.
All sorts of things.
Yeah, you know.
Addie getting through games and meets has largely been like a team effort. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody has to kind of pitch in to
her
make sure Addie's got her
classmates
stuff.
Yes.
Everybody's like, Addie, do you have everything?
And I'm like, yeah. And then turns out I don't.
Oh no, Brazen just brings double his stuff every time. He's got 2 pairs of cleats in his bag. That way he knows one of them's in there.
One of them has to be there.
It's actually pretty funny. We showed up to Doofer at the Classic for the first game. He goes, "Where are my cleats?" And I'm like, "They're sitting right there." He's like, "No, my other pair. I want the other pair." I think we ended up finding them or something, but it was pretty awesome. What the heck? What was my other question? Oh, how much time do you think you guys have spent with Addie preparing her for her goals?
Oh.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't know. You know, we've maybe been, we're very sports oriented, you know. So from the time, as soon as we could, there was basketball, there was, you know, and so, I don't know how many hours. That'd be impossible to calculate.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah, a really long time.
Dan, do you have any idea?
I don't have any idea, but we've made our lives doing stuff together and supporting the kids and whatever they're wanting to do, and we're just kid oriented. I feel kind of nervous to not have them all home. It was hard to let the boys go. It's gonna be real hard to let Addie go. Hard when Reese is out of the house. Like, we'll have to find new things to do because we have spent a lot of time chasing kids around the country and
Well, with 2 older brothers, Addie was always,
going.
yep.
Always been moving around with one of them pretty much.
Yeah.
Always keeping up. Yep.
Always competing, with them. So,
Yeah. So we have probably one of the best athletic programs in the state, as you guys clearly know. But something not everybody always gets to see is our weights program. How big has that been for you with like track? I know sometimes it's a little different. It's not traditional always. You're not always going in there and trying to bench as much as you can. Sometimes it's different. I just want to hear what you think on that.
I think that Coach Syra does really good about like adjusting to what season you're in. Like in volleyball, he's always working on how to get your vertical higher and like your fast motions and stuff. And I think that's a really big deal to him, as well as a big deal for like the rest of the coaching staff, because he puts in a lot of effort behind the scenes that, I mean, not everybody really gets to see, but I know that all the other coaches appreciate it. And a big thing in track is like he really focuses on like your legs, like your leg strength, like how fast you can push off and all that stuff. And I think that it's just a big deal to him to like teach people these new things. And instead of just assigning you weights and stuff, he likes to teach it to you so then you can take it on with you or like adapt it in a way that better suits you. And I think that's a really big deal.
Yeah, definitely the teaching thing. I always felt like that's how he was. Now, as parents, you guys get to see the results. Like, what do you think of, I guess, our weights program? You guys get to see them compete and maybe perform better. What do you guys think of that, I guess?
it's huge. It really, Reagan having that knowledge from being a college athlete and bringing it to these guys is, because we had weights, we've always had a set of weights, and it was, nobody really knew what to do with them. You tried to impress each other and see how much you could lift 1 or 2 times, and that was that. But having Reagan take it so serious, as we can see the difference it's made.
Jen?
I guess same. I think Jace went to the Air Force Academy, and I know he called home at one point and said when they were doing the weights and different conditioning drills down there
For
for
his
him,
college
he's like,
track.
yeah, for his college track, he said, Reagan's dead on. I'm one of the only kids down here that knew how to do everything correctly. So
That's impressive.
yeah, so that was pretty exciting. But I would also say, just even past the weights, like, that's the thing about the staff here that is so comforting as a parent, is whatever your kid is into, they are backing you up. Addie was interested in medicine, so we had people helping her get letters so she'd go to the MedQuest camp, and people advising her, even if it isn't like on their, just making sure that they get all the things done and have all the base, so that Carroll's a hard school, and she's going to be prepared to go there from the efforts of everybody here. Like, that wasn't done in a vacuum, and she didn't do that all on her own. That's from a lot of teachers stepping in and helping her along the way, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's probably the coolest thing about Adrian, is the ability to adjust to everybody's like hopes and goals, in
Absolutely.
every class, like I'm missing math right now. I'm going to make it up 7th
Yeah.
period, but they're allowing me to do something else that way I can accomplish something,
Yeah.
And there's always that adjusting in weights as well. If your back's bothering you
Yeah.
and you're supposed to be back squatting today, let's try a different lift.
Yeah.
Let's not load that back that's hurting or something,
For sure.
So I just want to thank you guys for coming
Yes.
on to the Adrian Antelope podcast.
Yeah.
We are going to cut it short because I know Jen has a meeting to get to. So yeah, just thank you. I guess we already did the community one. Any final thoughts?
Nope, this was fun. Thank you, Manny.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manny.
Thank you.
you.